Great. We still have folks joining in, so just wait for 30 more seconds. David joined us. We have Alden as well. So maybe Alden, you can introduce yourself, and Marco and Bill if you want to. Alden is basically our CEO. So Alden, over to you.
Hi everyone, happy to be here. I'm the founder and CEO of CustomGPT.ai and happy to be here and really love this developer hours, especially as we do some exciting stuff in AI and especially the POCs. I love doing like little proof of concepts.
So, the first office hours we did was around a month ago. So from now on, we'll be doing it bi-weekly for any new exciting updates that we have. Any questions that you want to ask the core team of Custom GPT, we'll all be here. You can directly ask your questions to the founders, to our CTO, to our product manager. So everyone will be here for your answers. So hi, Sandeep. Well, that's great to know. So I think we're good to go. Right, Alden? Right, Marco?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, let's go.
Great. So let's just see the agenda for today. So bit of welcome introduction that we have already done. Then Marco will give us a quick product updates around what's been happening in Custom GPT for the past 1 month, things we have introduced in our core offerings to our already existing customers or our enterprise customers. Things like meta awareness, how you can see which all documents you have already in your knowledge base. Then something called as agentic actions, which you can add documents while you query. So that's not what you think, that you can add PDFs and ask questions on that. That is the basic feature, but this is something exciting. So I leave that to Marco. And then finally, Alden will present Custom GPT for Teams. That's one of the major highlights for this month's feature that we built for you, for all of you, because you asked for it. So yeah, that's the thing. But now let's see. The most common questions we get is like, will the recordings will be available? So yes, just go on to YouTube and type Custom GPT. All the playlists have been made for community events, webinars, API developer videos, and basic demos of the of Custom GPT as well. So just go on to YouTube and type Custom GPT. You will have the videos of this session recording as well. And then moving on. So I'll just go around to discuss about things that improved and the bug fixes, and then I'll just hand over the stage to Marco. So what major improvement that we did was around YouTube. So now with YouTube, if you have a source YouTube, you can see we have advanced and basic sync setups, instant sync features. If you add a new video, it will automatically get indexed by us. If you remove a video or delete a video from your YouTube channel, that will also get removed from here as well. So if I just remove this, yeah, on the right side of the screen, as you can see, we have extended the number of YouTube URL formats that we support. Now, if you have added YouTube as an integration, your persona will be automatically generated, and you'll have few starter questions based on that as well. And again, a few basic tweaks, like you won't have to name your agent, will automatically name it for you. Like suppose your agent's name is Custom GPT. It will be like ask Custom GPT or talk with Custom GPT. If the YouTube channel that you synced was Google's, so it will be like talk to Google. So basic things and overall improvements on that front. And the bug fixes, I'll just quickly move on. So I don't expect you to read all of this, but it's a good time for you to join our community Slack. If you haven't, we share bug fixes, improvements, new feature additions on all of it. The things that you might be missing on the things that you felt like this needs to be improved, just hit us on our Custom GPT community Slack, and we'll take that into consideration, give that to our tech team to improve upon that. So these are basically the bug fixes. You may take a screenshot of this, or it's a good time to just join our community Slack to see all the things that's happening with the Custom GPT platform. So now that's all I had to share with you. Over to you. Let's start with our knowledge meta awareness. Over to you, Marco.
Hey everyone, nice to have you here. So let's start with about what we even think about this expanding agent context, and this is the first step of many that we will do in this area. Basically, what we're trying to do is make agents more aware of why are they there, how are they being used, and so on. And at this step, we have added something seemingly very simple, but that was source of surprising a lot of "I'm sorry" responses in the past. Because a lot of people start with questions like this that you can see on the screen, like what files are in your knowledge base? What did I just upload? What do you know of? And stuff like that. And the agents previously were not able to respond to that. They're mostly giving I'm sorry responses or having some sort of other type of unsatisfactory answer. And we have now enabled them to do basically to be aware, to be able to search what files they have and provide you answer like you can see on the screen now. And this in itself is pretty simple feature, but opens a door to other stuff that we are going to bring in the coming weeks or months. And that is making agent aware on which web page it is deployed, making you able to inject some custom context that can be situational, like name of the user who is chatting, if they log into your system or something like that. So this is the first step in that direction. We are excited to be able to make these agents that know more about their purpose or basically what they are asked to, and not just have some static system message, this static persona, but to be able to add some other meta understanding to them as well. So this is a little feature, but or start of something much bigger.
Right. So, Marco, this is where the whole concept of context engineering is starting to take shape, correct? Where
Yes,
before
exactly.
answering the question, the agent has access to what the knowledge base is, what the world around it looks like, if it is sitting on
Yes,
a page, what the context of that page is.
exactly. Right now, until this new changes, if you make some query, the agent will get that information to build your response, but that will be kind of isolated. Now it will know where is it coming from, why is it coming from, where is it deployed, and so on. And we'll be expanding on this context over time.
Awesome.
Okay, so we can move on the next. Yeah. So this document analyst is again the first of many agentic actions that we started to add to the app. It is still pretty raw and in beta phase, but basically it is doing something that has been requested a lot over the past few months and enables end user to upload a file to conversation. And then that file remains just there inside that conversation. So it's not added to like permanent knowledge of the agent. And then agent is able to perform some actions and operations on that file right now, basically just to understand it. And what happens actually there is that it is not like ChatGPT in a sense that you upload a PDF to ChatGPT and ask it like for summary or something like that. It can do that, but it can do much more, and that is it can take your file and analyze it in the context of its knowledge base. Priyansh, can you move to the next slide? It will be a little easier to explain with some use cases. So some use cases that we tried so far and where it works pretty well is, for example, if you have a knowledge base that is uh, some compliance material, for example, you can put GDPR website, entire GDPR website there, and then the agent will pick up its content, its provisions, regulations, and then you can upload your privacy policy, and it will go step by step and analyze and decide is it compliant with its source material. You can do same thing with job posts and resumes. We have tried with success to make it if you have, for example, a company that works on some projects and you have your company project history in database, and you upload request for proposal, and it can write you pretty good draft proposal, not something that can like you just hit send, but like pretty good start. And you can, for example, also check references of some research paper against the used literature, check like ask agent to tell like how well is it covered, or does it check out, and basically do that type of analysis. So it is still in early stages. A lot of improvements have been done there basically daily. But the most important thing that we are trying to do here is build kind of responsible AI agents and have responsible agentic actions like we did with our base chatbots, where it's not that you can just chat with him, you can actually trust it because you have citations, you have anti-hallucinations control. If it cannot do something, it will tell you, okay, I'm sorry, I cannot do that. And we are going to bring the same thing with these agentic actions. So right now, it's still in work in progress, so some hallucinations can happen. But end state here will be that you can upload something, ask it to do some operation on that, prepare some documents, do some analysis, and be confident that this analysis is based on what is actually in your knowledge. There will be references, there will be just confidence that it works, that it doesn't hallucinate, it doesn't do just these text vomit types that many of these agents do. So that is what we are trying to build here. And this is the first of these agentic actions. We'll be adding over the coming period a lot more, including just adding an option to put MCP server here and allow our agents to be kind of MCP clients. But more on that in the next hour or in a month or when it is ready. But that's something that is being actively worked on. So this is again the first feature in much broader initiative.
Awesome. So Marco, just so that I understand, the document analyst, unlike regular, chat where you type a prompt, in this case, you are attaching a document and then the agent is going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth between
Exactly.
the prompt, the document, what's in the document, and what's in the knowledge base, right?
Yes, exactly. It breaks down the document on smaller manageable chunks and then analyze each of them against your knowledge base.
Okay. So somewhat like these days I use ChatGPT and O3 a lot, and I enable the search function. And when I ask it a question, it keeps like going back and forth, searches the internet, comes back, searches the internet, comes back. So this would be similar to that, only instead of searching the internet, it is searching your knowledge base, whatever has been updated, and going back and forth.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Awesome.
And just a little for people around, this feature is right now available only on request because it's in beta state. But if you want it to have enabled, we will do so. But later it will be available once we are more confident in its quality. It will be more broadly available. But for now, you need to contact our customer support team or sales team and just ask for it to be enabled on your account.
Okay.
So it's kind of a closed beta still.
Cool.
I think Marco, you will have the access to change slides now.
I do. Oh, okay. So yeah, that was about these two major stuff that I want to go through. Here you can see some other features we have deployed over the last few weeks. If you're an enterprise plan, you can now access all-time data on analytics page. We added GPT 4.1 support on Azure. Priyansh already mentioned YouTube improvements. You can now get exact MCP core that you can paste into ChatGPT and enable our services MCP server there. As you already could do with Claude and some other services.
Okay. Marco, just
So yeah,
go back to that one. So
okay.
basically, ChatGPT now has support for MCP. So you can have your knowledge in custom GPT and then use the MCP feature to search to chat in ChatGPT based on that knowledge. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So
Or you can do that with ChatGPT, you can do it with Claude,
right, whatever
and
people are using as sometimes they want to use their chatbot as ChatGPT. Okay, cool.
okay, so I will already talk about document analysis, and I just want to touch a little bit this Spotlight avatar, which is part of our initiative to basically improve engagement and conversions of our agents. And this is, again, the first step in that direction where you can now add animated avatar, make it rectangular, larger for your agents. That is basically designed to attract attention. But and that, but I just like want to tease a little bit with that feature and talk more about that next time when we have the whole package around it ready. But basically, we are working towards something that's to possibility to build an agent that can basically serve as your virtual salesman on website, or basically somebody who is able to proactively, both visually and in terms of content, engage with your website visitors and then drive them towards some goal that you have set. So that is another thing that is in the works, not fully ready yet, but we can talk about it more in a few weeks' time.
Yeah. And if people want to check that out, they can check it out on our own website, right? Like,
Yes, kind of bare bones version of that is now available.
correct. So if you go to CustomGPT.ai, in the bottom right, you should be able to see what's called our new revenue agent. And what we saw was that, you know, it's similar to having a really smart salesperson being able to answer those questions and engage the user. And the data right now is looking really fantastic, where we are seeing like huge multiples in conversion increases, because instead of just a old style chatbot, you now have this really super smart sales bot or agent that can really drive conversions. So we are really excited.
And just to add to that, which is related with what I talked about earlier, that agent is knows exactly where it is. It knows that you are on pricing page or page some feature and can respond in that context because it knows that you're looking for something on that page and can prepare more to the point and relevant responses.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we are done with this
Yeah.
side, so we can move to Alden now and our new custom GPT for Teams package.
Yeah. So what I want to introduce today is a feature that, was basically requested by our customers. When Custom GPT was started, we thought of it as a place where you could go upload your knowledge base, sync your website and create a GPT as such, right? And a lot of our customers, they start off with that, with customer support being the first use case typically for companies. But then what started happen recently is that as AI adoption increased, what starts as one GPT then becomes multiple GPTs, right? We have a company with about 800 employees that went from one GPT to 97 GPTs across their company. And now customer support was involved, and sales was involved, and marketing was involved, and then product team had their own GPTs. And so it's becoming this request started coming in saying, like, sales team does not want to see the marketing team's GPTs. We want to have scenarios where some users should only be able to talk to a GPT but not build one or see queries from others. So all sorts of role-based access control issues started, coming to us. So one of our focuses now is to be able to support these role-based access control features such that we can enable them in our platform while keeping the cost to reasonable amounts, right? What we don't want to do is, start getting into Microsoft Azure style, like role-based access controls, and then the cost of the platform becomes $3 million. That is something we want to avoid. We want to keep it reasonable such that it is affordable by small and medium enterprises while still satisfying the team's nature of the requirements. So we are pretty excited it's to introduce this feature, and like always, we are hoping that we start off with some basic features and then add on to that as our customers ask for it. So I'll try and do a live demo here, right, where to see like what we are talking about here. So this is my dashboard, right? And as you can see, I got 1,700 GPTs here. So this is my personal account. And the feature we are talking about is on the team side, right? Where the team members can have different roles. So in this case, if I say change the role, I can reduce the member's role to, uh, I don't know, yeah, right? So I can have these various roles, like in this chat only role, the person has been added where he can only chat with the GPTs and not be able to see any of the other stuff, like having to, what queries others are doing, being able to build GPTs, right? The classic example here is that a teacher might want to build a GPT, but then the students only want to access it. So when the student is invited, he will be able to only see in the dashboard his list of like GPTs which are read only. So this is the first of many such teams based features that we want to encourage such that the platform can be used across the enterprise, because what we've seen now is what starts as a support and a Q&A now becoming like multi-department and multi-use case type scenarios. So we are hoping that this full-fledged role-based access control is something that we can now start supporting and activating. So, and I think this is available on the premium plan, right, Marco?
This base role selector and creating custom roles is, but this chat only user role, which is new, which enables you to add users who can just chat with agents, with their personal history and everything, that is on demand feature on our custom plans.
Yeah.
And I just want to add another thing that is already in the works related with this. We are adding ability to assign these permissions, so all available permissions, be it like any of these you can see the screen or this chat only thing, based on particular agent. So you can add somebody, and that somebody can only control and access certain agents, for example, in their departments, like HR department, product department, or they can enable you to run an agency type of thing where you can have some customers of your own who you want them to give access to only a couple of agents. So that is something that is coming really soon as
That's good to know. So I just want to show a little demo of what Marco and Alden said about having the revenue agent on our site. So this is CustomGPT.ai, and if I move this over here, the thing that you see Alden's face waving hi to you. So if you click on here, it will have a question figured out already from the content on the screen. If I click on this, it will open up a screen, load some questions, and see, yeah, great questions we have, etc, etc, etc. And how the context changes is, suppose I go from here to the pricing page. So let's say I clicked on the pricing page. Now this agent, let me just go back, come back here. This agent will automatically read the content and will ask you, hey, I'm Auden, may I help you to compare our plans and clarify any features. So basically this is what they talked about, having context from the page in which this the user is currently in. Right, Marco? Right, Alden?
Yeah.
well. Yes,
And
yes, exactly.
the inspiration for this is basically everyone is probably familiar with Google AdSense, where they read the context of the page, understand the context, and then show you relevant ads based on that page, right? So the same concept is true here for the revenue agent as well. If the revenue agent is understand what page it is on and then adapts its whole strategy based on that, then it can act much smarter to drive whatever conversion action that you are
Mhm.
interested in, right? So in our case here, we wanted to drive subscriptions to our platform, but in your case you'll want it to drive like sales or appointments or whatever it is that the call to action on your website is. So the combination of knowledge along with these like really smart like sales techniques, like you can say please use like Cialdini's sales techniques, and the agent will adapt to that to basically drive the conversion action that is needed, right? What we saw is like we are seeing like huge multiple increases in the conversion using a system like this, as opposed to the previous Q&A chatbot.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got
we are seeing about 10x improvement on link clicks inside chats, for example, which is a result of them of both the new link format we're using in chats with those little highlights like human would add, and also with the entire response being very to the point of what user is asking for.
Yeah. And the same trend is happening actually outside of custom GPT as well. If anybody here is following SEO, they will know that links and clicks from chat GPT are almost like 6 to 10x more valuable than links and clicks from Google these days. So
it.
very similar sort of numbers and activity is happening in this revenue agent, where you know if somebody interacts with the revenue agent, the performance is like quite huge as compared to standard chatbots.
Got it. Got it. Like, yeah, you mentioned in a post of yourself that we having more leads from chat gpt than Google. So yeah, that's a positive sign towards that moment. And this was a document analyst thing, the beta version that we have not yet released to everyone, but to our few beta customers, document analyst, we will have more agentic actions coming soon. So yeah, feel free to check this out when it's available to you. If you want to be our beta tester, maybe just DM Marco or Alden or me. I'll just get in touch with the team to see if we can provide this to you or not. So if I just close this, this icon goes away, and the basic feature is currently limited to this, but we'll be adding more and release the full version in coming weeks. So yeah, anything you guys wanted to add? We can just open the floor to our users for the Q&A. Just yeah. So yeah, I think we are done with our presentation. Please feel free to ask your question in chats, or maybe open up your mic and we'll be happy to answer.
Yeah. So Thomas asked a question here in the chat that I want to bring attention to,
Yeah.
right? And to here's my understanding of what Thomas Moore asked in the chat. Say you upload 2000 documents, right? And from those 2000 documents, only 100 are applicable towards a certain section, right? Say they are applicable to company policies. Or another good example is you upload 1,000 documents and only 100 are applicable to version 3 of your software, right? And then there'll be 100 that are applicable to version 4 of your software. There should be a way to, when querying, to say, please answer the question based on only this subset of the knowledge base, right? And in my mind, this is very similar to how Gmail does its labels and folders, right? Gmail is basically a huge list of email files, and then they attach labels to make it into what's called their folder structure, right? That's why you can have a single email and it can be marked as inbox, archived, important, and so on. And you can then filter and say search only in a certain label as such. So this is a good feature that has been requested. We're just trying to figure out how to allow our customers to specify what the grouping is, right? And then there is this other aspect, which is, should we automatically figure out what the labels should be? So in Thomas's case, he mentioned that the system should automatically figure out that a certain document is related to company policies. Uh, the first one where the customer is able to mark and say, here are my labels, that part should be doable. We just have to figure out how to prioritize it. The second part where the AI is magically able to create the labels, that part would be a little more difficult to figure out and see, like, but what Thomas is asking is, it's basically called automatic data tagging. And I feel like at some point it will be needed, just not sure what that point is.
Hey, it's Thomas Moore calling. I kind of put the thing in there, but I just want to let you guys know. So one of the things I did is I wrote it so I use the API to submit documents that within my application they can take things and they could upload that to the GPT. So what I would say is if you had something that would be like a queue that you would have that would sort of be like labels or tagging that you have like for web documents, if you did that, I can specify what it is with the drop down in the API that I wrote. So on my side, the form would have what I want to do. and then that just makes the custom label on your side
Correct.
by submitting it. And then that way, for anybody else that's doing anything outside of that, it would just be based upon what they have as they're uploading that documentation, either through the CustomGPT.ai web interface or doing it through an API like what I have.
Correct. Yeah. So it's similar to Gmail's labeling feature. Create a label, and then when querying, you just say only query this label.
Yep.
So yeah, we understood this. We'll have to figure out how it fits into the roadmap, and
Yeah, we have talked about it multiple times so far, and it definitely
yeah,
we did some little experimentations. It's just a matter of like fitting it in the whole picture, like Alan said.
yeah,
That also would help too. In addition to that, if you were to tag a label to something, I can say update the following, or one of the things I was doing was writing an interface to Power DMS to download their documents, and then I would have it compare against what I have already uploaded into the knowledge base, which I've used the API. I can pull up in my application what is uploaded. So it can do a comparison to say, okay, if in this group of documents I'm comparing these to these, what is newer, what is the newest version, and replace it.
correct.
Yes, that is one potentially very big use case with this labeling. Is if you have something that can be news articles, blog articles, even emails with different dates, and date can be one of the labels, and you can say to the agent, I just want something from June. Ignore everything else. That also opens a lot of possibilities.
Correct. So Thomas, one way to hack it till the time our system is like supported is there is a metadata feature on the document right now in the API. So you could pretty much add a hashtag in the metadata feature, and maybe that would allow you to query it.
To reference it in a query?
Whether it can be referenced in the query or not, that part we need to check. But at least if you're managing the knowledge base, you can use the metadata feature to figure that.
I'll take a look at that. I might try that with one of my GPTs that I use as a test.
Yeah. So the way I would hack this is I would put like hashtag Thomas-165, and then that might be a way to manage it.
So can't you also use the metadata as part of that?
As part of, you mean
As far as
query
the
line?
tagging? Yeah, the tagging, because if you add metadata, you already have that on the system already.
Yeah. So that how to use that, we'll have to confirm that. So I'll just put an action item.
Yeah, I can confirm that right now agents don't have that filtering capability. Right
Yeah.
now. So they can access metadata, but it would need to be like on the spot decision by agent. Like, should I use it? Should I don't use it? But we don't have still ability to just not send stuff that is not labeled correctly for the request.
We'll have to take this one offline and test whether it works.
Great. Thanks, Thomas, for the question.
Yeah. And then Jessica has a question which says that the hallucination rate is high. Yeah, that sounds a little strange. Yeah, we'll have to go into Jessica, if you can open a ticket, we can see where the source is of the hallucination. I don't think that.
Usually, the most common source of hallucinations is if you enable on that intelligence tab, if you enable My Knowledge plus LLM, that is the most frequent source of hallucinations. But
no, I know that that's definitely off. I just I didn't know if it was what I'm downloading, because should it be in a TXT format or should it be in smaller chunks or something. I'm downloading PDFs, and then I was changing them to just straight TXT documents without any emojis or any other funny stuff in them. I didn't know if it was misreading the documents or not. I'm just pulling into my office now. I can show you in about 5 minutes when I get inside.
Okay. Or Jessica, if you could open a ticket, we can investigate and see like what the exact.
Yeah.
Okay, so what? Just send it to you mean, or open it on the call?
No, you can just send it to us either on the Slack or open a help desk ticket, and we can investigate that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's your personal data. Uh, you might not want to put it on the Slack, but if you open a help desk ticket. Cool.
So I remember a familiar face from our first community meetup. So Pear is also in this call. So hi Pear, just wanted to say you hi. Thanks for showing up in the second call as well. Right. So that was some good engagement. So we're still waiting for some few questions. If you guys have, just shoot it our way.
Or if anybody wants to share what they are doing and have questions, that will also be a good thing to
Wonderful.
discuss.
Yeah.
But I could share a little bit what we are thinking about. I will have an MVP in 2 weeks' time, and we're trying to build an application where people can make a personal development plan. So they make a kind of I go to Strengths Finder and then I do my personal profiling. I do get my talents or my themes, and based on that theme profile, I start developing. I want to focus on being more analytical. I want to focus on being more ID generation or any kind of objective. And then I put that in a log file, and then I use my chatbot as a kind of discussion partner. And I have this context, I have this profile. What would you suggest me to do in a kind of 3-step plan or a 2 weeks plan? And then you get that back, and then you file that in your own log file, and then you constantly start building. You could say your marginal development plan as time goes by. And that's supposed to be a kind of new application that helps us drive business regarding making assessments.
Correct.
I guess all of you have made a personal assessment profiling test, and it's you do it and then you forget about it. And we would like to try to emphasize, well, there's more value to it than just doing it. You have to put it into your day-to-day work, and that's the application we're trying to create here.
Correct. And do you plan on keeping like user history on a per
Yes.
user basis?
Yes.
Okay. So you will be storing
Yeah.
storing it at your end.
Yes, but
And
only
then-
for the individual person will be able to track that for a given time horizon. So he can basically download it and use it for other purposes, or he can download it when he looks for his next resume or update that or whatever tool or task he would like to do.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, this is an awesome application, and long-term sessions is what this is.
Yes,
right?
it is. It is.
Yeah. In fact, I do this with ChatGPT,
Mm-hmm.
where I have this one session that I have going for the last 6 months, right?
Yes.
Where I have been playing pickleball. And
Mhm.
so from the time I started playing, I've been asking it questions and updating, and then I provide updates and
Yeah.
keep
Sure.
doing. And it really helps in the development, in the assessment as well as development and improvement.
And then we want to build a kind of a team part. So now we create a new team with 3 managers. How can they utilize each other in the best possible way? Knowing what kind of way of thinking, their cognitive abilities and cognitive skill sets. So what are the synergies or what are the bottlenecks? So try to make that as transparent as possible. I know we're challenging a little bit on the personal part here, but that's our ambition to go in that direction.
Okay, right. So my understanding is that there will be one main coach,
Mm-hmm.
and then there will be multiple other assistants or managers.
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
And then, Alden, you could give me a kind of a hint if you would like to do that. If I allow you to see my profile, I could ask you for feedback on what am I doing. And you could basically go into that dialogue and support that with your comments, whatever that would be.
understood. Okay, yeah. So like the human in the loop aspect as well.
Exactly. And because we believe that's pretty important.
Correct. Yeah, it's becoming very obvious that some combination of AI and human is always the best combination
Yes.
in a lot of these problems.
The plan is to go in a kind of a beta approach when we go to August. And then we pick 150 students. And we ask the students to kind of create their personal development / education plan for the next 1.5 year. And then they can go back to this tool every second month, every month, or whatever they feel for. And so it would kind of track their learning path instead of their study activities.
Correct. Correct. Yes.
But we'll
Right.
see. We're building it, so we hope it works.
Yes. That's the exciting part.
Yeah, exactly. And you could say the knowledge base is then, you could say your product is a knowledge base behind all this, because we don't want someone hallucinating on the themes.
Correct.
They are pretty defined. What is not as defined is your context. So the more context you give it, just as you discussed with the MCPs, the more context you can give it, the better.
Correct.
So we might change our approach now, given you have your new way of designing the chats, so it can read the context and then give feedback on that. It might be a part to have better conversions.
Correct. Yeah. Using the system instructions and the custom persona.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you're using the API and you're maintaining the history at your end, you can always summarize the conversation. You can provide additional context and put that in the custom persona, and that really should help the quality of the result.
Yeah. Well, that would be, you could say, our way of maintaining it, to keep updating the persona, so it basically make replies and make requests and recommendations in the right manner.
Correct. And I think ChatGPT is doing this now. That ChatGPT's memory feature is probably doing something similar, where they keep a little file of everything they know about you.
Yeah.
And then that is included
in the searches. Yeah.
In every session. And
basically we want people to upload, you could say, the kind of LinkedIn profile. So we read the LinkedIn profile and say, this has been your career path so far. So what are you looking for? Well, what's the next step based on what you have achieved so far?
Yeah.
And try to make the chatbot go into that dialogue.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, I see two questions in comments. So first, Thomas, about using API or iframe and basically having this session memory. So with API, you can send a session ID and basically continue previous conversation. However, if you're using iframe, just that pure iframe deployment, that is not possible because it needs JavaScript to send session IDs. So you need to use that embed deployment or any of the other deployments, but just simple iframe cannot have conversation history. So if you refresh the page, it will always be blank.
Okay.
And just
because one issue I have with that is when I was doing the API to have the conversation piece, the citations and stuff like that were not appearing or not the same way as the iframe.
You mean citations was these number citations?
Yeah, the number
or-
citations. Yeah. So when it does that,
That-
and use the iframe, I couldn't get the same results. And based upon the business need I have with it, that's super important. And
So we have recently, and you can find that. I will send the link here. Added a feature that enables these inline citations inside, even if you query via API response. Give me just a second so I can send a link to documentation. So you can enable that for a specific agent, and then if you make queries via API, you will be able to get
Continue.
these number references.
yeah, because I allow users to see their history. So again, from my application, I'm linking it with the ID of the app of the conversation. So I wanted to find a way that they would be able to select a conversation and re-engage it.
Yeah, that is also possible via API using session IDs.
Okay, I'll take a look at that. Because again, the only issue I had was with citations. I had a balance.
I sent in the comments, so basically that's the parameter you need. This is relatively new. So. And to answer other question from Sandeep, currently these more advanced insights like emotions, intent, and so on from customer intelligence page, that is not available via API, but should be available actually in the coming few days. So that just keep the eye out on our product updates on Slack community, and it will be ready and available very soon.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Marco, you had some plan for like other metrics besides emotion and intent, right?
Yes, we are going to add soon something that we call risk metrics, where you will be able to see estimates on evaluations, basically like for a particular prompt, like you cannot see emotion intent, you will see was there a jailbreak attempt? Was there jailbreak success? Was there profanity usage, for example, because we filter these to protect both our account and your accounts from OpenAI policies. We will also able to see is agent complying with persona, which can make you maybe help you to adjust persona if it is not giving good results, and do stuff like that. So that's something that we're looking forward to add to customer intelligence page as well. Okay.
Great, guys. Thanks, Sandeep, for the question. And we did not tell you a few features, but we'll discuss those in our next upcoming dev office hours. Will be around 2 weeks from now. I'll send an invite to all of you via our community Slack, tagging everyone, so you'll have notifications when that happens. And at peak time, we had around 20 to 22 members join us. So I hope we share this enthusiasm in the next couple of weeks as well, the next community meetup we have. And stay tuned for the new features that we have. We still have about 3 to 4 minutes, so the floor is yours. Or we might end the call, and happy good day to everyone. Yeah, thanks, Amelia, Doctor. So great, guys. Thanks, Alden. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Marco. Thanks, Bear, for coming us and answering the questions for you. I might not be able to answer all of those, but that's why we have experts from our team join this community calls every bi-weekly. So yeah, thank you all. Thanks a lot.
Great. Thanks for organizing.
And
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Priyanka. Bye-bye.